And here we go again. Ding dong. Roll up, ladies and gentlemen. One man went to mow. Here we go again. Ding dong. So the session has commenced that your company is required. We're in the election season, so just expect relentless outputs from this platform. So this is the space that you come to interact with the highlights of the Nigerian political process as they are happening minute by minute. I am situated. Are you? One man went to mow, the lander has landed.
Another Savior, holy, 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 HAYATU-DEEN. Another Savior, holy, 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 HAYATU-DEEN.
Well, this is OBIIN. This is dedicated to the gallant heroes of the Nigerian Biafra War and IPO families all over the world. I remember the Nigerian Biafran War, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafran army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, 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 they were singing out, holy, 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 is another Savior. Holy, 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 is another Savior. Many years after the genocide, whoa, yet another great leader has risen up now. And he's leading the Biafrans to victory. In your madika, yabika kwa namno. Hey, anamekele maduche mefo. Manemo, it's an honor having you on board. When I'm singing along, holy, 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 Namdekano is another Savior. Sing along, holy, 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 holy. Is another Savior.
Another Savior, holy, 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 HAYATU-DEEN. Another Savior, holy, 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 HAYATU-DEEN.
Well, this is OBIIN. This is dedicated to the gallant heroes of the Nigerian Biafra War and IPO families all over the world. I remember the Nigerian Biafran War, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafran army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, 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 holy. They were singing out, holy, 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 is another Savior. Holy, 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 is another Savior. Many years after the genocide, whoa, yet another great leader has risen up now. And he's leading the Biafrans to victory. In your madika, yabika kwa namno. Hey, anamekele maduche mefo.
And there it is right there. The news are fast evolving within the Nigerian space. When I put out the notice for this session, the headline was PDP in the process of canceling their primaries to postpone it till another date. So I had to take that headline down because, of course, they've now seemingly, we don't know what's going on yet, but all the soundings, all the likelihood is that that process now to take place. So, just within the few hours that I had to take down the headline and re-put up another one. So that is how fast evolving the process is. So now, what happens within PDP, we'll find out shortly. Hopefully today we'll. All right. Sorry, the headlines are just coming in as we speak. So that's what made me chuckle. So let me just take you to the headlines that we have now, and then we see how it goes in the course of the session. So this is a headline that's just come out this very minute, and you heard me chuckle when I saw this headline. So for all of you that thought Peter Obi left PDP out of a matter of principles, it's not anything to do with principles. It's everything to do with pocket. His pocket simply could not handle the politics, and that was why he ran. So here is a headline just right this minute. Each delegate of opposition party, PDP, gets over $50,000 bribe as Atiku Wike others compete in corruption reading presidential primary. So there it is right there. By the time that process is over, every single one of them will walk away with $100,000 to $150,000. So somebody, and by the way, these delegates, they were not just nominated and appointed. These were people that hustled and bribed their way into becoming delegates. You know, because they know how lucrative it will be when the numbers are being counted in a political process. So these are people who fought their way through to get into that position. So forget any invitation for anybody that bribed, stole, corrupted, probably even killed to become a delegate. Forget any fanciful thinking that person is going to act out of conscience. He fought in there. He fought to get in there to cash out. And this is their moment now, and cash out they are. Each delegate of opposition party, PDP, gets over $50,000 bribe as Atiku Wike others compete in corruption reading presidential primaries. So Wike could, Peter Obi simply could not afford it. That's just what it boils down to. So there it is right there. So this was a headline that I was going to bring you for this session, but I'll read you the headline and then I'll abandon it because events have since somewhat superseded it. PDP hold emergency meeting, may postpone convention to counter APC INEC collusion. So we may or may not go there, but then of course, you know, events have since superseded that. But events moving very fast, of course. We see how PDP has been hemorrhaging members since Peter Obi left. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust as HAYATU-DEEN withdraws from presidential primary. So HAYATU-DEEN, second person to withdraw from the APC, not from the APC, but from the PDP presidential primary. But why? He will tell us in his own words why I quit PDP presidential primary, HAYATU-DEEN. So that in play as well. But then, of course, everything that is going on summed up in the no BS manner that only he is capable of. SOWORE speaks, INEC boss YAKUBU, a lackey of APC. So it's SOWORE, of course, speaking, and it's just state the obvious. Tell me something I don't know, Mr. Omoyele. INEC boss YAKUBU, a lackey of APC, SOWORE speaking. But then, of course, we all know this. He wears the party's cap. He told us that out of the 5 million people in a war-ridden, war-torn Borno, out of the 5 million people there, 1 million plus voted for Buhari, you know, in the 2019 election. He declared when in excess of 1 million votes in Borno, with the population of just over 1 million, to tell us then that the voters should not be more than 100,000 in that space. And because of the war situation, the votes recorded in that space should not be more than 40 to 60,000. But well in excess of 1 million, he declared most of it, if not all of it, 90-something% to Buhari. So forget him being a lackey of Buhari. We all know that he's a lackey of Buhari. So tell us something we don't know. INEC boss Yakubu, a lackey of APC, Omoyele Sowore, stating the obvious. PDP primaries, consensus talk collapses as Atiku Saraki Tambuwal others insist on participation. So that consensus, I don't think it's a consensus to present one united candidate for the PDP, but to present one united candidate for the northern front of the PDP. So one northern candidate against against all the compliments of southern candidates. So it looks as though they could not agree on that even at the last minute, and everybody fights it out to get what they can get of the process. So we may land on this. There's so many stories, but I want to reduce this because I don't want this to extend to too lengthy a session. No zoning of presidency in Nigerian constitution. Olufalaye reminds us of exactly what the position should be. So all of that in place. So the usual thing to do then, lean back, kick back, take it easy. But before you lean back, kick back, or take it easy, we are pushing aggressively for likes on this platform. So click on the like button. So do that now. Click on the like button now. So reach for your phone, reach to the computer, reach for the remote control, and click on that like button now. We want to hit 100 likes before the end of this session. So click on that like, because I'll be monitoring that and pushing it out. So just to shut me up, click on the like so that I shut up about it and then focus on the session. So click on like, and if you're not already subscribed, do that. And then click on like and subscribe. Those are mandatory clicks. You must click on those. But the hyperlink that says StreamYard in the comment section, that is a discretionary click. So you can click on that if you like. So if you click on the hyperlink that says StreamYard, it will bring you to a studio space. And as soon as I've finished reading out the talking points, I'll let you onto the screen. So that is at your discretion. If you feel like, you can click that. But the like button and the subscribe button, those are not at your discretion. Those are mandatory. Those are compulsory buttons that you must click. So set about the clicking, and as you do set about the clicking, let me provide you with a little bit of liquid nourishment by way of lubrication. Your calabash to the ready as we join the K Guides.
Only water, where they see my water. You don't come home. Hapa o naido. Oro keke elemu ye o. Ibe shodi ya keke elemu re o. Obi master keke elemu re o. Chief Waila Chief keke elemu re o. Erukulele elemude. Erukulele egbe elemudode ojare o. Erukulele Ghana ti de egbe body o. Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ ẹyẹ o odile o. Oduyela ẹyẹ o odile o. Petro Soname ẹyẹ o odile o. Petro Soduke ẹyẹ rẹ odile o. Ẹlẹ́kọ̀ ọ̀run mú ìní o. Àkùkọ ọ̀run mẹ́kọ̀. gbéṣe o.
And there it is right there. Akoko Oromeko, Iku Koniriwagweshe, may death have nothing to do with us. Iku Koniriwagweshe, as guys, I bring you this. Each delegate of opposition party PDP gets over $50,000 bribe as Atiku Wike others compete in corruption reading presidential primary. So, of course, no surprises. This is just documenting this. We all knew this was what was going to play out. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, Rivers State Governor Yemsin Wike, amongst other presidential aspirants of the People's Democratic Party PDP, are now in battle of dollar splash on delegates voting at today's crucial presidential primary in Abuja. Correspondents learned that each delegate at the special convention had been given over not 5,000. Correspondents learned that each delegate at the special convention had been given over $50,000 bribe to sway their votes in favor of particular aspirants. No fewer than 811 delegates are expected to decide the fate of the PDP presidential aspirant in the ongoing convention. The 811 delegates of the party consist of one national delegate elected from each of the 774 local government areas and one special delegate per state and the Federal Capital Territory from amongst persons living with disabilities. Our top sources informed correspondents on Saturday that Atiku Wike, former Senate President Bukola Saraki, and Sokoto State Governor Aminu Tambuwal were competing in the splash of thousands of dollars on delegates, and it was a matter of the highest bidder. Each of the PDP delegates has got $50,000 for now. Wike $15,000, Atiku $20,000, Saraki $10,000, and Tambuwal $10,000. One of the sources said, for months the aspirants had been traversing the country and offering bribes to delegates across the state in attempt to woo delegates to vote for them. The money politics in the PDP had not gone down with some of the aspirants who feared they could not match the lavish spending of the leading aspirants and quit the contest and the party. Only on Saturday, one of the presidential aspirants of PDP, Mohammed HAYATU-DEEN, withdrew from the race. So I'll skip through that because I'm going to come to that as a standalone readout. So there it is right there. So that's the price so far. And by the way, that is so far. So that's not the totality of it. It's by my estimation. When it gets to the real sharp end of it, the real spiky end of it, another round and another round of set of dollars, because of course, Atiku comes in with $20,000 and nobody is going to vote for anybody outside of Atiku. So Wike has to top his $15,000 and exceed Atiku's $20,000. So he now has to give them an additional maybe another $15,000, another $10,000 to take him to 25. So Saraki has to beat him. So by the time they've outbidded each other, the delegates will be buying apartments in Chelsea, you know. So that is just it. And in Dubai. So there it is right there, money politics in the thickness of it. And that is exactly what drove Peter Obi out of PDP. Nothing at all about principles. He couldn't simply afford it. If he could afford it, he'll be there, but he cannot afford it. His pocket not deep enough. HAYATU-DEEN withdraws from PDP presidential primary. Another presidential aspirant on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, Mohammed HAYATU-DEEN, has withdrawn from the party primary election scheduled to hold on Saturday. In a letter addressed to the national chairman of PDP, Iyochia Ayu, on Friday, the former managing director of FSB International Bank said the contest had been obscenely monetized. I wish to reiterate that I did not join party politics and to contest for the presidency because of personal gains and inordinate ambition, but in order to serve our country, Mr. HAYATU-DEEN noted. It is therefore based on personal principles and with great humility that I have decided after wide consultations to withdraw from this contest, which has been obscenely monetized, Mr. HAYATU-DEEN said. The aspirant quit the race few hours to the PDP presidential primaries, scheduled to hold on Saturday at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja. Barely 3 days ago, Peter Obi, a former governor of Anambra State, dumped the party, citing a gang-up against him. He later joined Labour Party to realize his ambition. Meanwhile, 13 other candidates are still in the competition to win the PDP ticket for the presidential election scheduled for 2023. They include Governor Bala Mohammed of Bauchi, Udom Emmanuel of Akwa Ibom, Aminu Tambuwal of Sokoto, Yemson Wike of Rivers, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, Bukola Saraki, Ayos Pius Ayim, and Ayo Fayoshe. I wonder how much Ayo Fayoshe is giving out. Others include Dele Momodu, etc., and a complement of non-entities. Okay, so from that, so now why has he quit HAYATU-DEEN? Why I quit PDP presidential race, HAYATU-DEEN? A presidential aspirant, Mohammed HAYATU-DEEN, has said that he decided to quit the race because the process is obscenely monetized. HAYATU-DEEN, who was contesting for the ticket of the People's Democratic Party PDP, withdrew from the race a few hours to the commencement of the party's presidential primaries. In a statement he released on Saturday, the ex-investment banker lamented the systemic decay in the country, which he said has continued to deteriorate on all fronts. The statement reads, I have been a keen observer of Nigerian politics for so many decades, but have not been opportune to actively participate in party politics due to my engagement in managing critical public and private institutions, amongst others. I have observed with great concern and sorrow the recent rapid deterioration of all aspects of our national life, characterized by increasing poverty, religious intolerance, banditry, kidnapping, monumental oil theft, corruption, mismanagement of national assets, communal and religious strifes, and near collapse of public services and public institutions. During my recent nationwide trip, I came face to face with angry and hungry youths, children, boys, and girls abandoned by their states who ought to provide them with education and vocational training. These had become the recruiting grounds of criminals, religious, and political extremists. I planned to ensure that the great potential that had become the hallmark of Nigeria's development paradigm should be actualized during our presidency. We planned to make Nigeria the continental economic powerhouse, which would guarantee high quality of life to the vast majority of our people. I planned to provide peace by ending insurgency of all kinds occasioned by the absence of robust and coherent plan and lack of engagement with those involved, and by improving the capacity of our intelligence services, armed forces, and police and paramilitary services. I planned to put a final stop to the incessant closures. I planned to put a final stop to the incessant closure of our universities and other public institutions due to strikes. As we speak, another round of strike is going on, and nobody knows when our public universities would be open. It is because of the foregoing that I found it morally compelling to introduce myself into the political space in order to provide tangible solutions to these problems. I was driven by passion and commitment to the cause of salvaging our country, which is on the verge of collapse. My exposure locally and internationally and contribution to the nation's economic and political well-being positioned me to take up the challenges facing our dear country and the courage to participate in this grueling exercise, which most of our elites have shunned away from. Regrettably, the political system has proved to be Regrettably, the political process has proved to be acrimonious, corrupt, and self-serving. For the past 3 months, I had the privilege of intensively interacting with Nigerians from all walks of life. This reinforces my resolve that Nigeria must be saved, otherwise our future is doomed. I joined the contest as a Democrat with an open mind to keenly contest and accept the result of a process that is fair, credible, and transparent. We have endeavored to forge a consensus which would have facilitated a seamless emergence of a candidate, which unfortunately could not be achieved. I wish to reiterate that I did not join party politics and to contest for the presidency because of personal gains and inordinate ambition, but in order to serve our country. It is therefore based on personal principles and with great humility that I have decided, after wide consultations, to withdraw from this contest, which has been obscenely monetized. I wish to reiterate that I did not join party politics and to contest. Okay, so he said that already. It also said that already as well. I wish to thank all my supporters, especially those from my state, well-wishers, friends, family, the extraordinary hardworking young men and women of our campaign organization, the party leadership and members for their tremendous support, which enabled us to contribute within this short period towards changing the character and direction of Nigerian political landscape. Finally, as a very loyal party member and believer in the democratic process, I will continue to avail myself and my teaming supporters at all times to ensure victory for our great party. So it looks as though his whole process was to place himself in the political space to get whatever he can, either some secretary to the federal government or the CBN job or something. So he wasn't necessarily gunning for the presidential ticket. No, he was pushing himself forward to highlight himself for whatever incoming PDP government, if that in comes. So if that comes in, then you know that he'll be part of the permutation at the top level. So that's just it. It was essentially advertising and promoting himself. That's what that 100 million was all about. INEC boss YAKUBU, a lackey of APC, SOWORE, straight to the point, activist and contender for the 2023 presidency under the platform of African Action Congress AAC, Omoyele SOWORE, has slammed the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC for its extension of the deadline for primaries of political parties. The human rights activist described Mahmoud YAKUBU, the INEC boss, as a lackey of the ruling All Progressive Congress APC. INEC had approved an extension of the deadline for political parties primaries by 6 days on Friday, following its meeting with some political parties that pleaded for more time to finalize their primaries. The extension made the APC to shift its presidential primaries hitherto scheduled for Sunday. This development has enraged Nigerians, feeling that the decision by INEC was to manipulate the electoral process in favor of the ruling party. SOWORE, who reacted in a tweet on Saturday, said Nigerians should not expect credible election in 2023. The tweet reads, "I always maintain that INEC's Professor Mahmoud YAKUBU is a lackey of the ruling All Progressive Congress APC. Now eyes are opening. He has done everything to sustain imposters on a African Action Congress. He has done everything to sustain imposters on African Action Congress AAC way on behalf of APC. Forget free and fair election under Professor Mahmoud Yakubu. So yes, the first half, of course, nobody is disputing that, but the AAC part is just a nonsense. Nobody cares about AAC, and there's no great grand scheme against AAC. But that Mahmoud Yakubu is an agent of Malam Buhari, I think that is beyond equivocation. From that to this, PDP primaries, consensus talk collapses as Atiku, Saraki, Tambuwal, others insist on participation. A meeting which ended in the early hours of Saturday amongst key leaders of PDP from the north failed to broker a consensus deal. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former Senate President Bukola Saraki, and Governor Aminu Tambuwal and Bala Mohammed declined to budge to the elders' request to step down and endorse one of them. Only ex-banker Chief Mohammed HAYATU-DEEN agreed to withdraw. Party past leaders. So it says party last leaders. So I'm not quite sure what this means. So let me read it as it's written. Party last leaders are said to be making frantic efforts for the key aspirants to put forward a united front in the face of imminent possibility of Governor Yemsen Wike of Rivers State clinching the ticket. A lot of them don't believe Wike can win the general election, but as it is almost clear that he can coast to victory if the northern candidates don't close ranks, said the source familiar with last night's meeting. Meanwhile, delegates and party officials have started trooping to the MKO Abiola Stadium, venue of the presidential primaries of the People's Democratic Party PDP. The posters of some of the main contenders, Tambuwal, Mohammed, Saraki, are competing for space at the venue. Even though he withdrew from the race, the campaign posters of ex-investment banker HAYATU-DEEN is also visible around the arena. Correspondents also gathered that the convention proper is built for 4 p.m., even though there has not been any official information to that effect. The aspirants are also said to have engaged in last-minute horse trading and consultations with other aspirants and delegates with hope that the pendulum will swing their way. So there it is. So all the calibrations still that this thing will take place, but my suspicion is that it may not. You know, I don't see why PDP should hold their primaries and present a candidate for APC to dissect for one whole week before they then agree on who can beat him. So it's just if they put up a candidate today, APC, then they have lost the election already. So that's just it. Free and fair or not, they have lost. If they don't move their primaries to match APC, then they have lost the election already. No zoning of presidency in Nigerian constitution. Olufalaye just reminding us of legalities. Elder statesman Olufalaye says calls for the zoning of Nigeria's presidency to a particular region is not constitutional. Mr. Falaye, a former national leader of the Social Democratic Party SDP, stated this during a visit by the executives of Ondo chapter of the party in Akure. The newly appointed executives were led on the visit by its chairman, Dele Thomas. The former presidential candidate, while speaking on the continuous issue of zoning, said it was not part of the constitution for Nigeria's presidency. Our politicians should stop deceiving the people by putting zoning in the party constitution, where it is not valid. The Nigerian constitution supersedes the party's constitution. There is no provision for zoning In the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, zoning is not part of the conditions for Nigeria's presidency, the former secretary to the federal government said. Mr. Falaye said zoning arrangements won't pass legal scrutiny if any aspirant challenges it in court, saying the Nigerian Constitution will override what the party constitution says. The elder statesman affirmed his retirement from partisan politics, but said he will continue to offer his wisdom to those who sought it. I will never come back to partisan politics. I have paid my dues, but I will continue to support you. Whatever we can do to restore sanity to SDP, we will do it so that we can attain the heights we were. Nobody will benefit from the crisis. Crisis kills parties, the party's former national chairman said. So there it is right there. Just a reminder then that zoning is not part of the Nigerian constitution. So there it is right there. And here they are right here. Ababa Kure, I see you. World Peace, I see you. And the mighty Ajanle Koko, I see you. So good to have you all, gentlemen. So let me come to you first, Baba Kure. And then, of course, I mean, this is no surprise to anybody. Money politics in Nigeria, 50,000 naira, $50,000 so far, and still spending. Some people will buy mansions in Dubai off the back of today's profits. Baba Kure.
Well, good morning from here. Good morning, Professor Ajanle Koko. Good afternoon, one man, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening. The other person, wherever you are. Anyway,
World Peace.
World Peace. Well, you know, I'm going to start from Peter Obi and the person that just defected.
HAYATU-DEEN.
So they can't tell us that they don't know that politics is about money making, or who get what. So for them to come out now that because they are not expecting that, no, that is just rubbish to me anyway. However, it is showing you now that there will be no credible election, even starting from the number of candidates that are vying for presidency. This is the first time in history that we ever seen a lot of people just line up, get the forms just to become president of Nigeria. This is the first time in the history of Nigeria. I don't know, maybe before I was born, no. But since I was born, that I know about Nigerian politics, this is the first time. So it is showing you that most of these people, they are not really for the interest of people. It is just what they can make. That is the fact. So that it is what they can make. And for Atiku or whoever giving people $50,000.
No, it wasn't Atiku. Atiku gave them $20,000.
Okay.
Wike gave them $15,000.
Okay.
Saraki gave them $10,000, and I think about Tambuwal gave them $5,000. So that's the first round. So
okay.
Atiku gave them the most. So now Wike is now going to come back to beat Atiku. Okay. So he will give them an additional $10,000, and Saraki doesn't. So they'll just, you know.
So do you want to tell me that it is their salary they are spending? Okay. So. Because how much is governor earning per month, if not because of ripping Nigerian people off? Even the so-called president of Nigeria, how much is his money? 1.something million naira per month. That's just basic anyway. So where do they get all this money? If not the money that belongs to everyone, all of us, that they stole, and using that again to buy people, to continue enslave people in Nigeria. So where they get money from? If somebody can give let's just say 5,000. I'm going to start from 5,000. Giving 5,000 to how many delegates? About over 600.
800 and something.
Okay, delegates. So you just multiply that. 5,000 multiplied by 800 plus. You know how much that is. Then that is just the tip of iceberg of what that person has. In hard currency.
811 to be precise. 811, yeah.
Okay, so that is just tip of iceberg. A politician that can just dash 5,000 to 800 delegates. So do you want to tell us now that they don't have people in their community, or in their must all everybody go to politics before they do something for their community? Must they join politics? Must they become president because before you change life of people?
So Atiku already spent $16,220,000.
Okay,
so just already
just on that
on round one.
So that is just tip of iceberg of what he has, and you can imagine how much he has been spending. So must everybody become president of Nigeria before they assist citizens? Must they become president? Must they become a governor before they do what is needful? So to me,
do you wish you were a delegate right now, Baba Akure? Do you wish you were a delegate? I wish I was a delegate. I don't want to be delegate.
Walk
away with 250K.
Easy. It is a lot. It is a lot of money, but I have conscience.
Look at that conscience.
Well, I'm telling you.
Do they spend that in your local supermarket? When you do your groceries, so you get to the till, you say, "I will pay with my conscience." Are you paying with conscience in Canada?
I pay with what I work hard for. Even with what I work hard for, I know how I assist people.
Akure, I'm so proud of you for that answer. Don't mind one man trying to rope you with his own.
You are not somebody to talk. You will take $5,000.
So for me, because here that we know how much hardship we face here when the winter time comes. I still give people. You take this, go and do this. You take this, go and establish yourself. Go. I don't have to be a politician before I do what I think is good for humanity. So that's what I'm saying. These people that parade themselves, all these thieves, you don't have to be the president of Nigeria before you touch life of people. All this money that you are distributing, you know that there is no electricity in your community. You know there is no pipe-borne water in your community. You know that there is no good hospital in your community. Why don't you do this? Just do this for humanity and just from
the $20,000 that Atiku, let's use Atiku as the example, just from the $20,000 that he has given to 811 people, just from that alone, it tells us that no good will come to the Nigerian person under his presidency.
Exactly.
So that tells, because it's going to make it get that money on the first day. He'll just say, run quickly to Central Bank and go and collect all my money back. So from day one, he collects it back, and then he will loot all the way through.
Exactly. So there is no good thing from gun. It is always be bullet. So there is nothing good there's nothing good will come out of this crop of politician we have if you are spending this type of money. So what do you expect? It is just take the fact. These people are very funny anyway. They are very funny. So you can imagine. So when you spend this money now, remember they have been spending it, starting from poster, starting from giving low government grassroots people money to share among their party member to campaign for them. When they buy a bag of rice or some bag of rice or trailer of bag of rice and ship it to one local government. So you can imagine all that. You start calculating all that. Then you giving delegates just this, right? Then when you get the nomination, then you start spending money again. Though in politics you spend money, but not the way Nigeria is doing this. This is just too outrageous. It is crap. So it is telling us that nothing good is coming out of these people.
Okay, so HAYATU-DEEN joins Peter Obi in withdrawing from the race, and the reasons that he gave just somewhat lengthy and convoluted, but all landing at the same reasons that Peter Obi gave as well. He obscenely monetized, this is what he's saying, and he's a banker, a senior man, so he's not naive or he's not some simple-minded person so he knew what that space was like, but he's coming out to tell us that is even dirtier than you think. This is what he's saying. What are you making of that? Another one bites the dust in the PDP.
Well, like I said earlier, when I started my conversation here, they can't tell us that they don't know that politics is a dirty game. It's a dirty something. So you're giving us this story is just beating about the bush. You supposed to know that before, even we that we are not really in deep into that. We on the surface we see that it's a dirty things. So it is just that they cannot. To me, they cannot match even Tambo Y. They cannot even match Tambo Y. I think that is one of the problems they are having.
Yeah, so they are not saying it on a matter of principle that they object to it. They are really saying that I cannot afford it.
That is what I'm saying.
If they can afford it, they will be there fighting.
That is what I'm saying. They cannot even match Tambo Y because you remember you said Tambo Y is handing out $5,000. So you can imagine if the same man that you're talking about is this HAYATU or whatever his name. If you start dishing, how much did he earn from the bank? How much that is going to dish out $5,000?
You know what I've been noticing, Baba Akure, is that a lot of people, they are big men in their communities. So they are so big in their communities, and they have $1-2 billion in the bank that they think that they are that big. But when they get to certain, they say levels, when
level past level.
Level past level. So this is now the the realization that no, I am a small boy in some quarters.
Exactly. But the issue of money, they're supposed to know that. Even Peter will be supposed to know that. Okay, when you play politics, it is dirty game. He should have known that. He knew that for a long time. But for them telling us that it is dirty, it is this, it is that, no, that's just rubbish. There's nothing wrong in you camping to any other party anyway. There's nothing wrong if you believe that, okay, well, you cannot cope, like Peter will be that just moved to Labour Party one time. I don't have anything against him. Like I mentioned yesterday, you never can tell. Like we are seeing what is going on right now. If Atiku, I will still remind us what I said yesterday. If Atiku get the ticket, then for PDP and APC goes to Amechi or go to another part of Nigeria. So there is high possibility that this guy is going to win. I give him high possibility that he's going to win because the southern part of Nigeria will of course support him.
All right. So Omoyele Sowore alarms at the INEC moving the goalpost at the last minute, just when everybody had booked hotels and they had moved in with their dollar bags. So they moved the goalpost then, and very quickly APC moved their goalpost too. So to tell us then that they were working in cahoots. So he tells us that you have no expectation of any free or fair election because Mahmoud Yakubu, the INEC chairman, is a lackey, is an agent of the APC. So tell us something that we don't know, is what I'm saying to Omoyele Sowore. Do you agree with Sowore's assertion?
Well, we've already discussed about this thing yesterday too. So we are aware of this, that since they move goalposts, it means that they already compromised. So because if you look at PDP and APC now, you will see that PDP already decide what they want to do. In as much they want to have their nomination today, right? In as much they want to do it between today and tomorrow. So it means they don't really care about 6 extra day that INEC added on it. So INEC
sorry, Babakule, all the parties had requested about 2-3 weeks ago that INEC should move the date of the primaries because they needed that much more room because of the state of the nation. But INEC said no, that the dates are sacrosanct and they would not move it. So everybody accepted that and they continued to work towards the INEC target. Exactly. So on the day before, and then they just changed it.
Okay, so it is to me. If I could be wrong, but we know how these people play their dirty game. So technically, APC bribe their way and tell Mahmoud. And remember, Mahmoud is a APC member anyway. So So you remember the guy, and this is one of the labor union, so-called professor. It's a part of ASU and all kind of things. But ASU is suffering now. They put wrong people there anyway. Let's forget about that. So he is one of them. So I think they must have bribed their way for him to just succumb to their request. Because if it is something that is going to work with other parties, like you rightly said, I think a PDP shouldn't have been having their party nomination between today and tomorrow. They will also relax and wait.
They should move it. If they don't move it, then they've lost the election.
So that is it. So I think INEC deliberately move it because of APC. Because APC cannot even get their house together up to now.
You know, Baba Akure, it's almost guaranteed that as soon as the elections are over in 2023, Mahmoud Yakubu will, of course, that will end his tenure as INEC chairman. He will then pick up the APC registration, and then he will pick up a ticket for his home state for
become governor.
For 2027.
To become governor or to become a member
he's too big to be a rep. He will pick up the governorship ticket for his home state under APC for 2027.
There's no doubt about that, because I already amassed a lot of wealth for himself. All this nonsense that is going on, so he must have already. He's okay. He can do that because he can match dollar to dollar as well. Not like that man that just shipped out of PDP. So where like Omoyele Sowore said, it is what we all know too, that nothing good is going to come out of this, in as much that you start compromising right now. You're supposed to be firm, and your no should be no, your yes should be yes.
All right. Who are you hoping will get that ticket, and why? I know they are all nonsense, but who do you hope would get the PDP ticket? We should know by tomorrow, and why.
Well, to me, I think Atiku is going to win the ticket. If Wike said, "Oh, yeah, I want to match him too," he will also.
Atiku will bankrupt him.
One man. You see, because there is no time, we still refer back to North and South. This is the fact. This is the reality. When that tomorrow comes, because these people still want this power to be retained in the North, so they will do everything possible to make sure that Atiku gets the ticket. So if he gets the ticket, then that is it. If the southern part of Nigeria, if APC get it in the southern part of Nigeria, that might change a little bit. But if the two tickets goes to the North, they are going to vote for themselves. And if only one ticket go to the North, like let's say PDP to Atiku, and
if PDP gives it to Atiku, which there's every chance he's spending more than everybody, and everybody avoids welfare. So who do you think APC will want to put up against him?
It will likely be Tinubu, because Tinubu can match it also.
Yeah, Tinubu can match him.
But I doubt if they will really vote for Tinubu, because Tinubu is from the southern part of Nigeria, and Yoruba to be precise, and Atiku is from the north. It doesn't really matter. These people always work together. Look at Baba Ahmed. During Goodluck Jonathan, he specifically said it that they voted for PDP for APC because they need to support themselves. And he said they can rule Nigeria as to many years as they want. He said that we can check that on YouTube. So if APC still come to Tinubu, and Atiku got the ticket.
But is there any northerner in APC that can match Atiku in reach and spread, in personality? there's nobody, because who do we have? We have Ahmed Yerima, the one that introduced Sharia. We have Ahmed Lawan, the Senate president that everybody hates and nobody knows. Those are the only real two northern names. But, and you know, so can you put either of them up against Atiku?
Those people cannot match Atiku. No. they are just baby.
The only person that can put up a fight against Atiku are either Tinubu ideally or Shibando, probably.
I think Tinubu will be the best person.
All right. Still staying with the PDP politics, there was a time, Baba Akure, that Bukola Saraki was arrowheading a consensus candidate from the north, and he got Bala Mohammed and the other one, Aminu Tambawal, and they went to Babangida, and then they have Tanko Abdullahi superinted a process, which then emerged Bukola Saraki as the consensus candidate of the north. So everybody quickly pulled away from that because they thought that they were being manipulated by Bukola Saraki. But even at the last minute, late into yesterday night, they were still trying to calibrate how to present a united northern voice. So to drop their political ambitions and back one northern candidate. They still could not. Yes, it's a PDP primaries. Consensus talk collapses as Atiku, Saraki, Tambuwal, others insist on participation. So they still could not agree on one person. So should they have to enhance their chances and reduce the dollar spend? Baba Akure.
Well, to me, I think they should have done that, because like the way we are talking here now, we wouldn't have enough time to be parading them as all thieves. Anyway, we know that they are all thieves anyway, but it will reduce the way we calculate and balance their balance sheet anyway. So maybe they put off Atiku, that might reduce his spending, and we might think otherwise that okay, maybe good thing will be coming. But as the way we see right now that everybody is just matching one another with dollar to dollar, we already see that okay, where there is nothing, there is nothing good will come out of them, because like you said, and like we all know, when they get there, they want to force siphon as much dollars as they can, because they've already spent almost all what they have. So they will get that first before they start stealing the one they can steal out of the Nigerian pocket. So I think if they have reached consensus, that will have better. And now, if Atiku get the ticket, there may be some rift among them too, and that might cause more defection.
Because with all of them in play, that enhances Wike even more, because Wike, his body of votes, they are all ready for Wike. So you expect him to control the Southerners. You expect him to control people that have a gripe against all of these people. But the people that will vote for Saraki are most likely the same set of people that will vote for Atiku and Tambuwal. So they split each other's votes to give Yemson Wike a chance, if albeit a small one, but still a chance. So Wike has a chance then. Yeah.
Well, with what you said, I think you could be right. But to me, I still believe that there are some people that really there are some delegates that would like to vote for Atiku from the southern part of Nigeria, even though we know that Wike is from southern part of Nigeria. But there will be some people even that will even vote for Atiku from the eastern part of Nigeria. There's no doubt about that. So Wike might get much delegate from here, but at the same time, you don't know what can happen during that that primary. Maybe one of them will decide, okay, well, I'm stepping down for Atiku. So automatically all the delegates for that person will just move to Atiku. So we don't know what can happen yet. So we are just speculating here.
I think the voting will go into maybe about different rounds. I don't expect that from the first round it will be conclusive. So, but from the first round, the Northerners that have scored the list of votes, they will then move their support to the lead Northerner, and the gang up against Wike will begin. So another round of payouts to the delegates.
Well, that might be right.
All right. Interesting times, Baba Kure. But Baba Kure, let me go on from you to Ajanle Koko for reasons of time. Hopefully Ajanle Koko is still with us. Ajanle Koko, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, woman.
All right, brilliant. Good to have you, Ajanle Koko. So Ajanle Koko, predictably, but simply comical and alarming in equal measure. It's as funny as it is ludicrous and alarming. It's sad and funny at the same time. Each delegate of opposition party PDP gets over $50,000 bribe as Atiku, Wike, others compete in corruption-ridden presidential primary. They've even gone so far as to break it down to who is getting what. Each of the PDP delegates has got $50,000. But listen, for now, Wike, $15,000, Atiku, $20,000, Saraki, $10,000, and Tambuwal, $10,000. So there it is right there, just exactly as we anticipated. Ajanle Koko.
Yeah, thank you, woman. Thank you, Baba Kure and World Peace, and good morning, good afternoon or evening, wherever you are there. I thank you all for coming on the platform this morning. So let me first of all urge our listeners around the world, please, as we are joining the session, if you have already joined and you haven't clicked on the like button or thumbs up, please do that now. If you haven't subscribed, please do that as well.
Ajanle Koko, your voice is a bit low.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Much better.
He needs a coffee. He needs a
yes. That's waking out of bed. Just waking up. That's just waking up voice. Yes.
I need.
Are you a coffee man? Are you a coffee man?
I'm not a coffee man. So if Aremo give me coffee, I will take it.
Okay. Do you know? Just as an aside, do you know what they call an Irish coffee? Ajanle Koko. So it's a black coffee with a generous splash of brandy in it. They call that an Irish coffee.
One man.
Yes.
Your faith and your this kind of things I don't understand. You are 7 days or Jehovah Witness, but the kind of things you
yes. Now this I've never partook. I just know. I'm admitting nothing.
Okay.
I know nothing. All right. So back to Ajanle Koko. So money politics in fullness of $50,000. So for now, not complete. Or for now.
Look, one man, yes, I know that they are sharing money, or rather money is going to play out. But for that amount that is mentioned, I don't want to believe that amount. That amount
small, is small or too little, or too.
That amount is unbelievable. So I don't want to believe in that amount, but.
But Ajanle Koko, sorry, Ajanle Koko. If the way it's broken down, then it does make sense. We know it's going to be a dollarized space. They're not going to be giving them $100. So Atiku giving them $20,000 is not beyond the realms of what we expected. But it's all of them together that is the 50,000, not one person giving out 50,000.
Look, how many delegates in totality?
811. 811.
811. Okay, if we multiply $20,000 by 811, that be going to how much?
I made a miscalculation, but somebody corrected me in the comment section to say that Atiku alone has started with already $4,055,000. So and that's just what he spent on Wednesday in Dubai anyway.
Anyway, well, as far as I'm concerned, I still don't want to believe in that $20,000, $15,000. But I know that money is playing out there. Whether they are doing it in dollars or naira, we don't know. But this time
it has to be in dollars because naira will be too bulky.
Okay, but anyway, let's it's a monetized politics that they are playing in Nigeria, particularly in this kind of contest, presidential contest. Is a contest where that is exclusively reserved for the men and not for the boys. So it's men that are deeply rooted in politics, and for you to be deeply rooted in politics, you must have that money. That money must be there, to keep you in that place or in that position rather. So it's a monetized politics, and anybody that is thinking that or giving excuses, they are sharing money, I don't like that kind of thing, that person would rather not join any one of these two parties. That is what drive that party from the world level contest to the local government level contest to the state level and to the national. That is what drive the contest at all level in that within that party. So that is the way they run it. So we just have to accept it the way they are. That is who they are. I don't believe in that kind of politics, but that is who they are, and that is the way they operate their party, and and that is the way they operate it in governments as well. They take that ideology of monetizing, bribing their way, through to governance, and then loot the resources of the state, of the country, to continue to drive their dominance and their how do I call it, their relevance in politics. So that is it, one man.
All right. Yeah, go on.
But how long shall we continue to deal with this? Because Mr. Jai, I think it's even gotten worse. Before, it was behind the scenes that they share money. Now that they're so emboldened to the point where they're even telling you how much they are giving delegates. They are so emboldened now to the point where they're even telling everybody how much they're giving. But how long can we continue to tolerate this? And what do you think this will stop? Something has to give at this point. Even I'm frustrated. I am at this point.
Babati, it's a rumor, though it's true, but it's a rumor.
It's not a rumor, really. People on the ground are telling you what's a rumor.
Listen to my language. I said, though it's true, but it's a rumor. It's not on paper. We didn't see it with our eye now. You know that you and I.
You want video evidence, you want to say
let's talk from the intellectual part of it, but we know it's true. We know it's true.
Let me ask you. In the last 20 years that you've been monitoring the Nigerian politics, have you ever seen this open sharing of before in the last 20 years?
Don't forget
this clearing.
Don't forget when Babangida was bringing Ambassador in Ibadan, it was in the open when he was sharing $10,000 at that time at 67 naira to $1.
We didn't have Google and
that's it. That's why you know. It was open. It was open in Port Harcourt. It was sharing $10,000 to delegate. I think delegate was even more than.
But it's frustrating. I'm saying it's just.
I know. It's frustrating.
Like look at Peter Obi now. The man just turned. The man is rich, but they made him like a middle class. Compared to the man is a middle class when it comes to sharing money. Go ahead.
Look, Babati, it's just they started it in the abrupted Third Republic during the Babangida time. When that was what Babangida introduced into our politics when it created those two corrupt party, SDP and NRC. Though it looked like, oh, they're trying to bring people together, they're trying to foster unity among the political rank and file in the country. Let us have two separate parties so that we can know one is Republican, one is conservative ideology, one is liberal ideology. This is what they were trying to package, but they run that political system then with corruption. That was when it started. That was when bribery, money, politics started. That was when Moneybags hijacked the political system. You understand? Sponsored by the military, sponsored by Babangida. A lot of politicians back then were sponsored by Babangida, by military government. And that is why you see up to today, you see our politicians still visit these people, bow their head to them all the time. They want to contest for politics, for a big position like president. So it has been in play for a long time, and
let me not interrupt you, but because I've been trying to look up laws against, because right now in Nigeria there's no cap to how much you can spend or how much you can contribute to anybody's campaign right now.
Oh, they have it. They have it.
Oh, so why is it not being enforced?
It's not on the level of. It's not at the primary level, but at the election level. When on the general election level, that is when they put a cap. When parties they must not spend more than, I can't remember the figure, but INEC have it in their. They have it in their law that this is how much, but I don't know how they monitor that. I don't know how they monitor it. I don't know how they're gonna know how much they are spending.
So right now, according to you, because I couldn't find anything. So right now, at the primary level, I can spend any money I want, but just until I get to general election, then it's capped. But how much is the cap for general? If you can tell us,
I think it's how much did they say for general election in the presidential? Maybe it is 3 billion. I can't remember specifically. I don't want to give you a wrong figure. Okay, but they have it anyway.
Sorry.
Yeah,
from the
they have it.
Or from the individual, because some people will
I mean, on the basis of the party, not the individual, but the party.
The party can spend it.
Yes.
Wow, something has to change. We cannot continue like this, because we cannot continue like this.
We cannot absolutely we cannot continue. But it's a corrupt political system, and that's the way. It left for us as people to be courageous and dump these two parties if we don't want to continue like this. If we want to, as long as we stick to these two parties or continue to support them, it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. That is the problem.
We say that in every electoral cycle that we cannot continue. I cannot recall any electoral cycle when things were not so alarming that all of us will say, no, we must not continue like this. But every succeeding cycle is worse.
It's worse. Yes, it's getting worse.
That's my point. It's like this. It's compared to, it's just terrible at this point. Like, come on now. 3 billion. Somebody's. Like you said, somebody's already. If you have 50K right now as a delegate, and you're not even voting yet, you already have 50K. So how much we now have by Monday? You have almost 100K by Monday now. with the way they are going, right? If you have 50K right now and there's no voting yet, by Monday you have about 100K as delegate. So why are we gonna
imagine all the wrong girls that be around that?
That is not like one man again. Why does your mind always go to?
No, now I'm just imagining the scenario, you know.
But something has to give, and like you mentioned earlier, the people have to rise up and cancel both PDP and APC. They have to go. They have to go. We must, we just find new parties, new ideas to begin a new movement and focus on a new direction for the country. We can't have these two monsters controlling the country. It's out of control. It's ridiculous.
All right, thank you. Ajale Koko, do you remember once upon a time that we did a session? Some international financial body did the numbers and came up with the figure that to become Nigerian president, the Nigerian president, it's a $2 billion spend. And everybody was alarmed and quoting that cannot be right. So do you now agree with that assertion that it's a from start to finish, or right from when you have the ambition all the way through to what you have to go through to become the Nigerian president, it's a $2 billion spend?
Look, it could be more than that, one man.
Sorry to cut you short, Ajale Koko. That was 2014. I believe it's more than that now. The last election was more than $2 billion.
$2 billion.
Yes, it was more than $2 billion. Yeah, the last 2019 was worst.
Naira. When you guys? No. $2 billion naira or dollar.
$2 billion dollars. 2014.
Dollars.
I got that. Yes, I have that record too. $2 billion.
$2 billion. Hey.
As 2014, it was $2 billion, but 2019 election cost more than $2 billion.
So we should be looking at almost 7 the way they are going, right? If we project it now, we're almost 7 billion at this point.
That starts from having the ambition, setting up your offices, recruiting staff, the vehicles, the posters, the travel, everything, and of course, the bribery. So the totality of it, they crunched the numbers to arrive at $2 billion. To become Nigerian president, you have to sign a $2 billion check.
Oh, yes, let me tell you, one man. Look, it's going to be more. Because for presidential contest, you have to spend money to sponsor candidates. For state level, assembly, you have to spend money. For local government, you have to local government chairman, you have to spend money. For governorship, to sponsor some governorship, senators, Federal House of Rep across the country, because those are the ones that are going to constitute the structure for you. So when you do that, after doing that, and you have to keep a group across the country, and to keep them running, you have to lubricate them with money to keep functioning regularly. Then after that, then you have to, the traditional things, you have to all them with money too.
All those visits to the palaces, it's not just
the palaces. It's not for free. It's not just to go and talk economies that you are good in economy. This, So those and then your movement around to delegate, to campaign for delegate, you have to carry money along to lubricate their palm, for them to know that, oh, this man is a very good man. Those in play, and then the delegates that are coming for the election proper for the family, the money you have to look. It's just barrage of money in play that it's highly corrupt political system. One man, highly corrupt, and we can never get that nation can never get it right as long as we continue on this with this criminal political and absolutely corrupt system. There's no way that country can ever be better. We have to. I've been saying it on this platform that these criminal two parties can never give us anything good for that country. But who are we as people? Are we courageous people? Are we ready to take the bull by the horn? Are we ready to take a courageous decision by doing away with them. But we are not. All we are doing, we are seeing happening is the reflection of who we are as people. The leadership we have across the country is the reflection of who we are as people. So it can never stop. But when you see somebody that is trying to do right, we want to chastise him, we want to run it down. When Tore is saying that I'm not going to be part of these people, he created a platform. We don't want to join it to him. But other than that, but instead, we want to say he's not playing politics right. Yes, go and play it right with people that are bribing you with money. They will continue to destroy your country, and they continue to enrich themselves with your wealth. With your wealth. And that is why I strongly, oppose Peter Obi joining this criminal in the first place. You don't dine with criminals. These people you see everywhere, Wike, Atiku, Tinubu, and all of them in these two parties that you see as strong candidates in this concept, they are criminal, they don't love that country, they are unpatriotic, they have killed that nation. So any serious-minded person that really wants to serve that country must not join any of these two parties. So the moment you join them, and then you see that you can't have your way through, and you are saying you are bolting out, that shows that you are a person that is not visionary. You are a person that, should be concluded as a leader that cannot reach a right judgment at the right time. Because joining them is a wrong judgment by anybody that wants to lead that country. No. The foundation is corrupt, and their practices, the administration and the operation of those parties, it's corruption, the law. And they can't do without it. That is who they are. So we cannot stop one man. It can't stop. And it will continue to get to us every time.
All right. Thank you, Ajanle Koko. So thank you, Ajanle Koko. Let me acknowledge that Alexander Gomez is a super chat who points to the heart of the problem, the genesis of it all. Babangida single-handedly destroyed the greatest black country in the world. I detest that man with a passion. On paper, the richest man in the world. So I don't think forget Elon Musk. And by the way, forget Elon Musk, because all these rich lists that you hear are somebody that they can somewhat account for the source of their wealth. That's who makes the rich list. But the wealthiest people on this planet, they are people that you cannot account for their wealth. So we're talking about people like Putin. We're talking about Babangida. We're talking about Abacha. Abacha's son told us that God will never make his family as poor as Dangote. So this is it. God will never make his family as poor as Dangote. So that tells you. So forget all this Elon Musk. He's not even in the top 1,000 of the richest men in the world. Babangida single-handedly destroyed the greatest black country in the world. I detest that man with a passion. On paper, the richest man in the world. So thank you for the super chat, Alexander Gomez. So thank you for the super chat, Alexander Gomez. As I take Ajanle Koko swiftly through this next round of talking points, Ajanle Koko, if you will. HAYATU-DEEN withdraws from PDP presidential primaries, citing similar reasons as Yemson Wike. He knew he was corrupt, but he said it is obscenely monetized.
Not Yemson Wike. Are you trying to say Obi?
Oh, so Obi rather. They are all from the east. So from and by the way, that was a joke. So yeah, it's like just like Obi did. So citing similar reasons to Peter Obi that he knew was corrupt, but he says it's obscenely monetized, that is too frightening. So what are you then making of HAYATU-DEEN stepping down?
It's ridiculous. All these ridiculous excuses from these men that brought nothing into the party, thinking that they can have their way to the position of leadership is just absolute nonsense. You see, this contest is not a contest, like I said, it's not a contest for boys. It's a contest for men. So this is the time you see we're going to be separating boys from men. So all these boys that doesn't have the wherewithal, the thick skin, you know, for the big challenges in this contest, yeah, they will say some excuses and then run away because they cannot play it in a competitive way. They can't compete with the men. They are boys. Boys cannot compete with men. Men have the experience, they have all the wherewithal, they have everything it takes, you know, to win the contest. So this is coming out, let him go to what do you call this thing? Let him go to Labour Party. Maybe him and Obi can go and join together and form coalition, and maybe that will work well for them. You see, it's just so it's just nonsense. I mean, it doesn't want to tell us that it doesn't know that PDP is a party that is wrong and administered with monetized politicking. Doesn't want to tell us it doesn't know that. The last time Atiku got the nomination in Port Harcourt, he outspent everybody in the contest over there. Even Wike, right in the face of Wike, he defeated Wike candidate in Port Harcourt right there. It is money. It's money that drives it. So what is he talking about? Let him go to wherever he wants to go. What is his political relevance in any way?
He was never a politician. He was never a politician. He's just some guy that has looted from the banking system enough to feel that he wants to be amongst the big boys now.
All this in the category of what do you call our brother? Dele Momodu, as HAYATU, this one we are talking about, and Peter Obi, people that brought nothing into the party, and they think that they can. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. I just explained how you have to be spending money before you can to get yourself established in the party, so that when you are running for this, you already have, you know, a structure across the country that will drive your campaign, that are ready to work for you and ready to ensure that you secure the ticket. When you don't have it in those two parties, you cannot win. You may go to some different party and you don't spend money. Yes, it is possible. But those two criminal parties that we have, I mean, if you are a decent man, if you are a decent person, I haven't seen the way these two parties have run Nigeria down from 1919. I mean, 1999 to date, particularly during this session of Buhari session. You cannot join any one of them. You can't join any one of them if you are a real person that loves that country. So these people, they just piss me off, taking all this nonsense they are talking, that, oh, it's because of money they are doing it. They should just get out and go to where they know they can go and get their ticket and then go into play. If Nigeria love them, Nigeria will vote for them. If they don't love them, they will go back home to mommy.
All right, thank you, Ajanle Koko. So just a call to the audience. As you can see on the screen, we are aiming for about 100 likes on this stream, well in excess of that many people watching concurrently. So thank you for the views. But really, that like button, it helps propel us on the YouTube algorithm. I think we only have about 10 or 20 so far, so not even anywhere near halfway the benchmark we have set. So you know, just get us to 100 likes fairly quickly, so that I don't start to bash you in the ears about
Wama, because they have not heard my voice, that's why they're not clicking. They detest me when I talk.
No, they don't detest you. I know you're Irene's favorite and a favorite of many people. So click on the like button, please, as you hear Ajanle Koko's views on SOWORE's assertion. I don't expect any form of dissension on this, as SOWORE tells us what we already know. speaking off the back of Mahmoud Yakubu moving the dates to favor APC. So yeah, Mahmoud Yakubu is an APC lackey, an APC agent, is what SOWORE said. Do you somewhat agree with Omoyele on that, Ajanle Koko?
Yeah, SOWORE is my man. I respect his opinion, but the shifting of date does not. Does not conflict with the already timetable. I don't think since it doesn't have no conflict with the timetable. I don't think what Professor Mahmoud did is wrong. If he had shifted it and have to disrupt the timetable, that would have been a different thing entirely. I would have been in the same position with SOWORE. But since that 6 days postponement does not conflict with the timetable, I think it's okay, because sometimes
it gives APC an edge, though, because the time that he announced it gave APC room for them to adjust their dates to match the new adjustment. But it didn't give PDP any room, because PDP were already in the car to the center to cast their votes when he made the announcement. And because APC was able to quickly, after that announcement, move their dates, that tells us that they had pre-knowledge. So he did it in collusion. Yeah.
Well, as the umpire, they have to listen to the political party sometimes. When political party asks for, I don't want to say favor, but if they ask for some reason to get something done for their party, if they're asking for like change of date, they should be able to, if it does not conflict with the already timetable. I don't see anything wrong in them, because they can't be rigid most of the time. I'm not saying that they should not stand their ground, most of the time, but sometimes they should be able to listen to the party when they are making requests for certain things, maybe adjustment or whatever they are trying to do to put the party in order. They should be able to listen to them. They shouldn't be very rigid to say no is no all the time. It doesn't work like that in democratic setting. There should be room for negotiation. There'll be room for requests for better party administration and operation. So they have not done anything wrong. I don't see anything wrong in what Professor Mahmoud did.
All right, thank you, Ajanle Koko. So thank you, Ajanle Koko. I'll go on from you, Ajanle Koko, to Babati, only for reasons of time. But before I go on to Babati, let me acknowledge Alexander Gomez's super chat, who only seems to be the only person that knows how to navigate that button. So Alexander Gomez super chat to say, back in the day in London, we were treated like Arabs. Stores were closed whilst we shopped. Neighborhoods were reserved for Nigerians and Arabs. Babangida ruined everything. The country destroyed forever. So that is Alexander Gomez's memory lane comment on the Babangida space. So I ran with what you're saying, Alexander Gomez, because I remember even as early as the late 80s, thereabout. I remember once my father was in London, and when you go to London and you have to do shopping to buy T-shirts, etc., for to take back home to your children or whatever, he was in the shops and he ran out of pounds, and the shop attendant was saying that what other currency do you have on you? He said he only had Nigerian money. He says, oh, we accept Naira. He spent Naira in London. I think it was even at the West End. This is not that long ago. He spent, because even when you look at the Bureau de Change back in those days, Naira was one of the listed currencies that you can just go into the Bureau de Change and change it to the British pound. That's not that long ago until Babangida happened. That structural adjustment program, a structural destruction program. Back in the day in London, we were treated like Arabs. Stores were closed whilst we shopped. Neighborhoods were reserved for Nigerians and Arabs. Babangida ruined everything. The country destroyed forever. So there's nothing in that I disagree with Alexander Gomez. Sadly, this is now the Nigeria. I remember once that my father was driving home from wherever, and my sister had gotten into uni then. So he was driving, his driver driving him, and they were coming through that Maryland way that you go up to Ikeja. There used to be a Leventis and then a showroom for cars. So just on the spur of the moment, my father went into that showroom. He made the driver go into that showroom and bought a Volkswagen Beetle as a gift for my sister for getting into uni. Not planned, just on the spur of the moment. But latterly, we were pushing his cars to start it. You see, so that's the Nigeria that Babangida gave us. So that's the Nigeria that was so it's just, it can make you. So this is the Nigeria that we remember, and this is the Nigeria that we have now. But thank you, Alexander. I concur with most of that. So back to you then, Babati, the dollar reign in APC, $50,000 and counting. Babati, do you wish you were a delegate?
Well, if I was in Nigeria and I share those beliefs, probably, but me living in the West has nothing to do with me having this position. I've always felt this way about the Nigerian political scene, even before I left the country, and it's very disheartening to watch what's going on. It's like this is what I say about Nigerians. Nigerians they've redefined the meaning of the word endurance. Like if you just type endurance in Google, it should always show Nigerians, because we have redefined the meaning of the word endurance. Because each time I in my mind, like for instance now, when they had the first subsidy riots, right, or outburst on the street of Lagos or wherever they had it, I'm like, yes, finally they are waking up to this is it. 14 days, what happened? It fizzled out. They had NSAS. I'm like, man, this is it. They've had it by the neck. Whatever, they give up again. I'm like, so at what point will you say enough is enough? Yeah, people will die. I know that. But at what point will you say enough is enough? So we need that same revolution, that spirit in the political scene as well. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. Maybe 10 or 11 more cycles, 40 more years of this nonsense, and we might have what we hope, will be something that will be. But I just don't see it right now. The way Nigeria is right now, I don't see it. People are spending 50K like it's lunch money, and nobody like what bothers me the most is that people just think it's normal now. Like it's just something we'll do. If you cannot play with the big boys, like the way you put it, like we should just accept it, which I find it troubling. So when I say we should make laws, I had to stop myself for a second. I'm like, wait a minute, who's going to make the law? The same person that is spending the money? Of course, it's not going to make any laws. So
they say Nigeria is the perfect crime,
right? Yeah, like who is going to make the laws for the same criminal is going to make the laws against himself, or ourselves, and for equality's sake, even ourselves. But they're not going to make laws, so it has to be the people. The people have to rise up. But unfortunately, I don't see that spirit in them. Each time they rise up to fight for a cause, within 14 or 21 days they give up, and everybody goes back to their corners. It's like the government already knows our nature as Nigerians. We come up, we shout for a few days or a few weeks, then we go back to like nothing happened. So the people have to figure out a way. I don't know how. I'm being honest at this point, But some way, somehow, we have to figure out a way to dismantle this system. And whatever, at this point, I'm open to suggestion. Whatever you guys come up with, let's work at it. Let's do it to solve this problem. Because, it's heartbreaking. I hear stories. I'm not that old, but I hear stories from my grandparents and my parents about how they used to get free lunch in school, boarding houses, and milk, and they paint all this stuff. I'm like, man, are you sure? Are you sure? I said that was Nigeria. And my mom would tell me, oh, when we were in boarding school, we used to have all this stuff, and we had, they paint all this stuff, and I'm like, are you sure? Are you talking about Nigeria or a different country? Like, no, it's Nigeria. That we used to have all this UCH, and everybody came all over the world. I mean, when I grew up in Nigeria, all my neighbors were like foreigners. I had Germans, Americans, so I still saw a little bit of that, where people, even I was born into a hospital. My teachers were nuns in Nigeria back then, so I still saw a little bit of that.
So my teachers, Alexander Gomez will confirm. In Maryland, it was a convent school.
Right.
It was a Catholic school, but now.
Yeah.
I have a suggestion.
Yeah, go on, Solly.
You said the IPOB is like $250 million. Why can't they just take all the money, go for one political party, all the people in diaspora, and direct it from outside the country? Put who we want as presidents, put who we want as governors. We have the money equal enough to compete with them. Maybe even more.
$250 million is not equal to compete for. It's $2 billion to be president now, dollars.
Well, I'm just saying that's just IPOB.
Yeah, Solly, your idea is good. Can you hear me?
I think that's what happened.
You are breaking, Baba.
That's what the Jewish did with Israel. Is that not what they did?
No.
Okay, something like that.
I like the idea, but IPOB is not a good platform to
No. I'm just saying. I'm just letting you know the measure of money they have. I'm not saying
okay.
IPOB. I'm just saying.
What did the Jewish do in Israel? Sorry, what do you mean?
Sorry.
What did you say the Jewish did in Israel?
Well, it was something like when they were having issues in Germany. Didn't they look for support outside of the country? Didn't they gather their money? Didn't they create their own?
No. They didn't get the support. They were having after the Second World War. I think the Americans and the British, they just carved up Palestine and gifted them the money, and then they vested it in a biblical antecedent.
Well, I'm not too sure about the Jewish and Israel, but that's my suggestion for Nigeria, because we can do it. We can outsmart these people. They are not that smart. To Nigerians,
no, we can't say that anymore. We've been saying that since 1960.
To outsmart them as a collective.
One man, I'm actually serious, please. I need solutions right now. I need solutions, please. Give me ideas. I'm really for. Give me your. That's one.
Why don't we have union of Nigerians in diaspora?
But people, no. First of all, we don't have that influence yet. We don't have the right to vote.
What do you mean we don't have that influence? How? What's stopping us from doing it outside Nigeria?
Okay, go on YouTube and Facebook. See them fighting over Yoruba Nation. That's you can't lie. First of all,
the Yorubas and Negroes fighting over.
Okay, now you say that. Are you telling me that you can't come up with a plan to make these people agree on forming? These people are not really. These people are not really smart.
One of the ideas is what Ajan Lekoko has always suggested, which is the regionalization of Nigerian politics. But Babati, let Baba Akure interject you, and then you take the floor back. Baba Akure, you wanted to say?
Yes, what I want to tell Solly is that because he did mention that diaspora. I can even tell you that some of the people that you believe that they are living in diaspora, they only live here, but here did not even go through them. They even corrupt more than some of the politicians you're talking about. We saw what happened in London when they start distributing 90 or 50 pounds for the same Nigerian living in diaspora, and they kneel down in front of Nigerian house, praising Buhari that it is their savior. Having seen what is going on in Nigeria.
Baba Akure,
It's
can I
not-
interject? Just
Yeah, go
for a
ahead.
bit.
I'm just telling you about how.
There is something called a screening process. Not everybody has to join you. You can screen the people that are going to join. You don't need everybody before you say, "Oh, I will complete my mission." Let those who can do. It's simple as that, and you get the best of every candidate for each group.
Nigerians don't work well working together, because Nigerians they're very individualistic, they're very ego driven, they are very ethnic, and
Not
they're
all,
very
not all Nigerians.
well. Most Nigerians are,
That's
unfortunately.
But that's why I'm saying you don't have to work with all. I
Yeah,
know
then
Nigerians are
what
like
will
this.
you form a small group
You
or
work with the
something?
best few, yes.
But
At
then you
least
won't have the numbers now. By the
Can
time
I
you prune it
can I
all down,
make
you won't have anybody. Yeah, let's hear from Joseph. Joseph, come in. Sorry, but that's just the reality of it.
thank
But
you.
Joseph, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I work with Nigerians, and I
Okay.
saw for Nigerians I couldn't
You
work
work with
with.
like-minded people like you.
Yes, I
which
find
I do
like-minded
as well.
people.
But if you want to have a broad spectrum, then you have to sweep in. So you are already with the converted. You are speaking. We are with
What's the
people that are
population of
aligned.
Nigerians outside Nigeria?
I don't know.
So it's in the millions. Even if you
Yes.
have 1% of that, isn't that a large number?
I think the last time they said 12 million.
Yeah,
So what's 1%?
okay, let me
What's
just
1%
come in,
of
please.
12 million?
Oh, hold on. Let's hear from Engineer Joseph. Yeah, go on.
Yes,
We're listening.
like for Nigerians, yes, Nigerians in diaspora are very ready to give all the support that is needed. But it has to start from those of us that are here in the country. If you notice what happened during it gathered momentum, then you could see even support from so many Nigerians that are in diaspora, and even people that were not even from Nigeria. They keyed into the cause. That's the same stuff. And if you look at what the coalition is working at, trying to talk about the third force, even before Peter Obi left PDP, they were trying to work at getting a coalition. Even if they could get up to we just have 18 registered political parties right now. If we could get up to 10 of them to drop their personal differences and focus on the bigger picture, just for the benefit of Nigeria as a country, you will see that a lot of Nigerians in diaspora will key into it. But those of us in the country right now, we need to overcome that first. Like people like SOWORE and a whole lot, Professor Kingsley Moghalu and all that, they need to work together. They need to work together. It's very, very important. They can't just feel that if they want to continue the way they've been doing, they can continue doing what they're doing in the next 1,000 years. Nothing will happen.
Joseph, why do you think they are not working together? Because if you realize this, then they must know this as well. So why do you think they are not working together?
Personal, they have as in is greed and being selfish. Because like if you really, like for me now, I have interest in politics. I've been in politics for some years now. If you really love this country, like me, I have political ambitions. But when it comes to a point where you see that the country comes first, you need to suspend your ambition to ensure that you achieve something that is greater before you can talk about that. Because if, like a lot of them, they are looking at being the candidate of their political party. You being a candidate, you can run 20 times. You won't even win a state. It doesn't make any sense. Why not come together and put a prominent candidate from the south and then a prominent candidate from the north, run together. Then the others, some will go to Senate, some will go to House of Reps, some will run as governors of their state for a start. If they can drop their differences and work together, if the coalition can succeed, getting support even within Nigeria.
Sorry, Joseph. You see that if that you've just put it, that's the biggest hurdle. Who do you think has the hold on? Who do you think has the wider national presence right now? Peter Obi or Kwakwanso? Who do you think has the wider national appeal?
Before even Peter Peter Obi came, because they even like the third force, they didn't initially, they weren't looking at Peter Obi. They were looking at, they had people like Kingsley Moghalu, they had Kwankwaso after he left PDP, and they had people like Patu Tomi, and even Jega, the former INEC chairman, and they had a number of persons that they were looking at. But as it stands right now, if they want me to advise them, because even me, I think right 2014, I called for a candidate, the governor of my state right now. I consulted for him, and he won his election in 2015 election. So the truth is that the way it is right now, Peter Obi has gathered some momentum, whether you like him or not. He has gathered a lot of momentum already.
Joseph, where I was taking you to is where you are now. So this is why, and it's a conversation that I was just having with Solly now. This is why, because that if that you said, that is where that if is. So Peter Obi has more momentum, and he has more relevance current to the politics of the immediate. So he's more popular now. Everybody is talking about him. He's desired. But Kwakwanso is not willing to step himself down to let Peter Obi take the ticket.
They are still, they are still talking. There are a lot of things you hear in the media.
No, he's already in Labour now. Is he not in Labour already? No, he was talking with NMPP.
No, he wasn't talking with NMPP to be part of NMPP.
He wasn't.
He was no. I'm part of. I know what is happening. I'm a politician myself. I know. The truth is that I told you that the coalition is a number of parties working together. Him having a private meeting with Kwakwanso doesn't mean that he wanted to join NMPP. He will come down. He will become by God's grace, he's looking at coming out as the candidate of Labour. Kwakwanso will come out as the candidate of NMPP. Other political parties in that coalition, they will throw up their candidate. But after that time, they will now come together and bring out someone like maybe Peter Obi, then Kwakwanso, if he agrees. But if he doesn't, I know the way it is, some of the political parties that are already talking, some might pull out. Why other ones that are not even part of the coalition might come in, as the way we are right now. So Kwakwanso is very, very popular in the north. If he should agree, it will make it easier if he agrees to work with someone like Peter Obi. But if he doesn't,
you know, they only have 8 months left. You know, we are 8 months from the election.
Yes, I know. Just in a few weeks, they need to resolve all these issues. So if he doesn't,
let me ask you one question.
Yes,
you're talking about coalition, like they'll come together and throw up one candidate. Does that mean if they come together and throw up one candidate, what happens to their party's name?
And how do they register?
No, is after, if they should succeed, they'll go and they'll merge into one party. But for this time, for this election purpose, they are adopting. They are adopting a particular party. That's the Labour Party. They'll adopt the Labour Party. So the other presidential aspirants, after they agree, they will step down. They will endorse Labour. They will adopt Labour candidates, as in their president and vice president, as their own candidates for the purpose of 2023 election. So the other parties like NNPP.
Hold on. You know that parties have to submit their candidates to
NNPP by the 17th. The areas, the states that is longest.
Sorry, one more. That's what I was asking. When is the closing window? When is the closing window for merging?
Sorry?
When is
it is the 17th. It's the 17th.
For party to merge.
17th of what?
17th of June. Parties have to submit their candidates via the INEC portal by the 17th. It used to be the 10th because they've moved dates, they've allowed till the 17th. But by the 17th, INEC is going to lock in all the candidates, their deputies, everybody that is aspiring for any elective, or that has to be submitted by the 17th.
Yes. For now, what they are looking at, the measure is long term for now. What they are looking at right now is just the coalition working together, adopting a candidate that will represent, if it's 7, if it's 8, if it's 9 of these parties as their candidate. if you remember, like this NNPP in 2011 and 2015, they adopted Goodluck Jonathan as their candidate. But in 2019, they had one Prince Ike Keke as their candidate. So parties, all these other parties will adopt the Labour Party candidate that they will throw up. But what will happen is this, like if, for instance, now, like NNPP now, if the coalition works out, NNPP, where they are strongest, candidates like maybe a governorship candidate of NNPP, the senatorial candidate and all that, these other parties will tell their structure to work for the success of that party where it's strongest. If you come to maybe the South, for instance, if APGA decides to be part of the coalition, they might decide that the governorship candidates of APGA, the senatorial candidates of APGA from this region, so the other parties should work for the success of that one. So those are the agreements. They are working as we speak. They are working on all those details as we speak.
But
challenge,
but the time is ticking.
Yes.
That's the thing. So there's no time.
The time is ticking. That's a challenge. It's a big challenge.
Long and involved. Because these are long and involved negotiations. Because you're going to ask people to park their ego, park their ambition, recalibrate and align behind one person. They have to submit by the 17th, which is what? It gives them a 3-week window. So everything that you're saying now has to happen within 3 weeks.
Engineer.
Yes, that's the major challenge we have right now. If they succeed if they achieve that, then it's bright. But if they fail to do that, then it's APC PDP. That's just the simple truth.
All right. So just a quick one. We have close to 200 people watching us concurrently. Thank you. But we're trying to hit 100 likes on the platform. Now we have more than 200 as we're just speaking now. And it's because people are liking. That's why people are streaming in. So we're only halfway to that 100 likes target. And we're having 200 people. So if everybody clicked on like, we will just within even the time I'm talking now, we will hit that 100 and even surpass it. So help the platform out by clicking on the like button. It's really important and it's at no cost. It's free of charge. It's just a 2-second click of a button to say like, and that helps propel the stream to gather even more of an audience. So click on like immediately and right now just to help the platform out. So next time I check, I want to see that we've hit the 100. So that way I won't be pausing to plead that you hit on like. It's just the time constraint of it is what really the issue is, Engineer Joseph, because all of these things should have happened weeks ago, not now. The primaries are already in place. They
started the talks since last year. Yes, they started the talks since last year. But like we said, the major challenge is for the success of the coalition. If the coalition succeeds, getting support, even within Nigeria, there are billionaires, there are millionaires, there are individuals within Nigeria that are ready. When about finances won't be an issue at all, and individual supporting won't be an issue at all. Even apart from those in diaspora that I know very well, that they are ready. If they can see a credible, formidable alternative platform, if they can see that they are over ready to come in and support. So that's the major challenge is just for the coalition to do their homework and succeed.
But do you not think that all of that is that a step for this round of election? So that all these things that they're describing, which we wanted to see, but now we are in primary season now. People are starting to within the next 3-4 days, certainly within the week, candidates will be known. So is it a little bit too little, too late for all of these now grand ideas to come into play?
No, it's not. They've been working on this since last year, but it's been kind of slow. And because of some of these challenges that we've mentioned before now, that's what has made it to, one funny thing in Nigeria is that when people that don't mean well for this country, they find it is easier for them to organize themselves to achieve things, what they want to achieve. But people that have what it takes, people that mean well, have good conscience, they find it almost impossible to organize themselves. But the way Nigeria is right now, because of the high level of poverty and illiteracy, any group that organizes themselves better always have their way. So it boils down to the coalition this time around to put their differences aside and organize themselves. If they don't, even
go on.
Sorry.
Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, if they don't, even if it's APC, PDP, so long as they organize themselves, they will still carry the day. Whether you like them or not, they will carry the day. But we pray that this coalition succeed this time around, because we actually need a formidable alternative. I'm an APC member. I've been in APC for like 6 years now.
So you are plotting against your own party. You are plotting against your own
party.
No. What are you doing, man?
It's not last election, 2019 election. No. 2019 election, I didn't vote. My name, this is my name. I'm not afraid. 2019 election, I didn't vote for Buhari. I didn't vote for Buhari. I voted for Atiku, because Atiku then 2019 was a far better option than your national interest. National interest comes ahead of political interest for someone like me. I don't believe because I'm a member of a party, when I see that the country will suffer in the hand of someone, then I'll close my eyes because he's a member of my. No, I don't do that. I put the interest of the country ahead of the interest of the party. Except the interest of the party aligns with the interest of the country, that's when I'll be 100% loyal to the party.
All right.
But my loyalty is more to the country.
All right. Let me put a position to you, Joseph, and just a quick commentary on it so I can go back to Babati. Only the pressure of time. We delight hearing from you. But who are you anticipating would form this coalition? So do you have a list of parties that you think would be ideal for this coalition that you say are in talks?
Yes, they already have not less than 7 parties. They've been talking since last year.
Is that Labour, NNPP, SDP?
ADC. ADC is part of it. Even is it YDP is part of it. A number of yes, I think YPP is part of it. A number of these smaller parties, they are there. And I believe that if they are serious, you will see more parties will come into it. Like a party like ABGA is long overdue. Like people that said that Peter Obi, he didn't show character by him leaving ABGA. They don't understand what the issues are. Him promising Ojukwu that he will be loyal to ABGA. He did his 8th year as a governor and left the party. If he had decamped while he was an ABGA governor, that's when you would say that he wasn't loyal to ABGA. He handed over to an ABGA and then left because he needs to be part of the national politics. Like the usefulness, if you ask me, the usefulness of all these regional parties, for now, it has outlived its usefulness. So this is an opportunity. If the coalition can get it right, a party like ABGA, if they are strategic, they need to be part of this. So that if they succeed, then they have to merge and form the formidable alternative to PDP and APC.
Joseph, is Peter Obi fast turning into some political ashawo as he continues to sell himself, pull up his dress to every suitor?
No,
so from
we should understand.
To PDP to Labour, is it now a political prostitute?
No, he's not. He's not. Me, I'm a politician, like I told you. The truth about it is that the way Nigeria works, those of you that are outside, you might just get carried away by the fact that a lot of your parties that are over there, they believe in ideologies and all that. But in Nigeria, right, the level we are right now, APC, PDP, all of them is the same thing. It's just a vehicle for you to actualize your political ambition. What is important in a country like Nigeria is the individual, the quality of person you are. That's what is important. It's not whether it's ABGA or PDP or APC, because they don't have ideologies. Because even the issues that is of major concern to us as Nigerians, they are fundamental, basic issues. No matter the ideology, good roads, good health, good education, and all these issues are basic issues. Is when you've addressed all these basic issues, you get to a point where you now talk about it as in serious ideologies. But for now, the issues are just too basic that you going from one party to the other is the platform that gives you the opportunity to actualize your ambition. That's what is important right now. So him moving from one party to the other doesn't make him a political prostitute in any way.
So by your estimation, Peter Obi is not a political Bobrisky. So not a political.
No, he's not. He's not.
All right, not a political Bobrisky. Let's get back to Babati, who had the floor and was alarming at the monetization of the Nigerian politics.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yeah, good to have from you. Join us even more, because we need voices like you that are experts in the field. Because we're just speculating and permutating based on knowledge and antecedents, but you have a real direct lived experience of Nigerian politics. So we need expert views like you just to guide us through this process as we come to the thickness of it. So as I go back to Babati, we're still pushing for that 100 likes. We have 220 people watching us concurrently. We're after 100 likes for the stream. We're about 25 away. So if you can just help us out with that as we go back to Babati to tell us then just how doomed we are when they're already $50,000 down and we don't even have a man yet. Babati.
Yes. Thank you, engineer, for contributing from Nigeria. I really, really appreciate your input, and I look forward to hearing from you as we head towards the election. Your insights being on ground is really appreciated. So I just wanted to thank you for bringing that up. Thank you so much. But to go back to the doomsday scenario, something was brought up earlier that why don't we have that synergy between the home front and people in the diaspora?
Yeah, solely. Yeah.
The classic example of that would be SOWORE. Because people that have that exposure to other countries, they tend to speak their mind more. So when they come back into the Nigerian space and they speak with that confidence of what they've seen outside, people feel uncomfortable. They labeled you as being, you don't have respect for elders, you're too brash, you have this attitude, you have this. So it's that thing that we need to work on. We need to work on that, because we can have all these ideas abroad, like we said earlier, but if the people at home are not buying into our own approach, then we're going to have a problem. And so we have to find a way of carrying them along. Don't look down upon them, and don't look at us that's like a lost cause. So let's work on that and get better.
Should we, what in that space that you're in, Babati, should we also try and move people from activism to practical participation? I'm only saying this because look at how SOWORE swept the space in 2019, and look at the derisory voter numbers it got. Those were written figures, but somewhat, if there was a real movement that went to the ballots, and we had somebody come on yesterday also that told us that he was a presiding officer at elections, and he didn't see a young person in all the miles and miles of queues that he was superintending. So they're very active on social media, that SOWORE type crowd, which is also the Peter Obi crowd. But when it comes to election day, they are busy playing Xbox and complaining that it's too violent for them to go out.
Right. I have a solution for that. When it comes to youth in Nigeria, you have to give them a reason to participate in election. Not money, not dreams, not anything. Let's say I'm a local government, for instance, now, and we not even just let's say councillor.
Can I interject?
Just give me a minute, please.
I disagree with that with the money part. You have to give them money.
Wait. Let me paint the picture. I'm trying to do right here. Let's say in a world now, you need about 10K to win, right? Just 10K to win. And obviously there are more youths in that vicinity, right, than the elders. If I can guarantee them, guys, we are more here. Let's vote for one of us. Then we will support him. The money thing works when it's the so-called elder coming to you to seek for votes. When it's the youth running, it's different. And
They will just go back to go and collect the elders' money. No,
but I'm saying, but you must provide figures and information to prove that they have a chance.
Babati, I wish the world was like that. But
if I say we live in a country,
they don't care. Let me tell you, no matter how logical,
that is where the hard work is.
Future is going to be good.
Forget that future. Forget that future narrative. I am actually this is what I'm doing.
I don't think you know your people.
I'm appealing to their selfishness, to the human nature. Sadly, I'm kind of exploring and exploiting them at the same time by doing that.
But will it work? Knowing
I'm
your
saying
people,
that
being practical. Which one do you think will be more effective?
I'm saying that it is hard, but it's possible. Somebody has to do it. That's why I disagree with you. It's hard work, so you cannot say it's easy. Nothing comes easy in life.
I disagree because you can't just let those people that are about money go scot-free.
No,
you can't let them go. You can't let the old babas have them. Why not you have them than let the old babas have them?
Wait.
Because they are a significant amount of number.
Sorry, wait. Why do you think they take the money? Because there's a belief that space is not for me. What I'm saying is that I have to make them be that space is for them. That they should be the one running, not the babas.
This is why the babas
it's hard, I know, but it's doable.
So why should we now make it hard for ourselves? Must it be hard?
It's not easy. It cannot be easy. If you're looking for
must it be hard?
It has to be hard, bro. Nothing comes easy.
No. Sometimes some things in life do come easy.
Nothing good comes easy.
Cannot
all the time. It's not all the time. Now you can't say 100% of the time.
90%. Nothing good comes easy now because then everybody will get it.
Everybody will.
It doesn't mean we have to make it hard.
Sorry, listen to me. First of all, they have to buy that. Listen, we have the numbers. This is where the hard work comes in. Because we have the numbers, we can do this. Then you show them the reason why. Okay, if we bind together as people, now we not anybody outside. We will find our own people from from within ourselves. That is where the hard work comes in. You have to be able to sell it to them. It's not easy. I know it's very hard, but somebody has to do it. So it's not about sending them for the future, for your children. Those kind of things don't work in Nigeria. Sell them on now. Sell them on the present, not the future. Now you can win the youth of Nigeria by sending them the future.
It's a hard labor because
that
was where SOWORE started. That was where Peter Obi wanted to go to. It's a hard labor.
Yeah, but don't. No. I'm saying that you have to make them believe that they have the numbers, and that's even obvious. They have the numbers, but does that number count? Then find somebody from that space to run for office that they can all vote for.
That's why I'm saying you have to find someone with the charisma of Nnamdi Kanu,
right?
And use it for positive.
Yeah, we said that was said there before that we need someone like that, but that person has to sell them on the present. Forget all this.
If only Kanu was a politician, it would have served a better cause because he has a strong presence. He knows the language of the people, and he knows how to rile them up and rally them together. He has real talents. But then he's used it in the wrong way.
But to add to one man, imagine having that kind of charisma. And convincing them that, guys, we have the numbers. If you have the numbers and you have the charisma, that is easy win. It makes the job easier for people
because
to buy
if he
into
just collects all the votes in the East and put it in his pocket, then the whole Nigeria will come and beg him that we need your people.
Then you can bargain with the youth in the South and the West, and you have your coalition all this 2 weeks. How can you, in all honesty, engineer? Even I like what you said so far, but in all honesty, how can we be discussing coalition that takes less than 2 weeks to come together? Come on, 2 weeks or 3 weeks before the 17th, and we expect some kind of miracle to happen. That is not gonna. That should have been done 2-3 years ago. It should have been well planned, well thought through. But I think that we should just focus on sending them the present, not the future. That would be the best way to take the youths. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Babati. So thank you, Babati. And that call for that 100 likes, it looks as though you guys are falling short by 15. We have 200 people on the stream. We're asking for 100 likes, so a real mystery why we are not hitting it. Because if everybody that is watching right now clicked the like button, I would have long shut up about take us to 100, take us to 100. I know some people are not immediately at their devices, but if you can make the reach to your device and click on that like button, then that will be your somewhat contribution to the platform. And it's at no cost. It's just a flick of a button to say, yes, I agree or disagree, or certainly enraptured by what I'm hearing. So enraptured, especially by Babati's contribution, but are you enraptured then by World Peace contribution? So World Peace, to that space, the $50,000 being shared around by the PDP.
Yeah, Woman, thank you. Well, I'm not surprised because Nigeria party is money politics. Like I said, Babangida started this money sharing during the 1998 or 1999 delegate primary. Babangida was sharing $10,000 per delegate at that time when dollar was 67 naira. And then the funny part of that time was not only delegate that was in that scene. There were other cabal, other people that came, powerful people that came there. So they shared for them. So now they are paying $50,000 dollars. Well, maybe before the election, before they could get their before the delegate primary is finished, probably we get to $70,000 because it's the highest bidder right now. Because the highest you can pay, the guarantee you have for a delegate, that is the way it is right now. Is a sorry case because Nigeria is so corrupt. There's no law or no institution put in place to checkmate such spending in politics. That's just the problem I see. And it will continue if they don't change it.
All right, thank you. Thank you, World Peace. And Solly, the same question, and that's really the question so far. So the biggest news coming out of the PDP primary so far is just how the delegates are making bank. 50,000 naira each to 811 people, but they said for now, they've collected 50,000 for now, which is to tell you that the spending has not finished. So when they spend all these countless millions of dollars, what do they then do when they get the seat? Solly?
Is it 50,000 to each person?
To each person.
And is 811 people?
811 people.
That's more than $40 million.
Yes, but Atiku gave them $20,000 each. Wike gave them $15,000 each. Saraki 10,000. So there are another 10,000. So they are all. So it's not one person, but the collective of all the briberies from all the candidates has amounted to each person pocketing $50,000 so far.
How much is it to build a world-class hospital?
I don't know.
No, it's not that difficult. You can even get grants. So we did one in Egbado area. It's not that expensive to do, but
I think between 2 million to 100 million, and they still have to travel out. There's money to build hospitals in that country, the best of the best. See what they are using it to do. This is the end of PDPO. This is really the end because they are too blind to see that they are destroying themselves. This is the end. All these other upcoming parties, APGA, NNPP, they are going to overtake PDP. After this election, PDP may become nothing.
Even APC they might have to watch their back. They might even disintegrate post
APC will
Buhari.
survive. APC is a very aggressive party. They will survive.
After Buhari, APC might just go into oblivion. In my own opinion.
After Buhari, if they mismanage these primaries, which I'm certain they will, this will be the end of APC.
Exactly, because he's the only one holding the party together. That's the reason they came together in the first place. So if they play it wrong, like one man is suggesting, so we might pretty much kiss APC goodbye and look forward to having new parties.
And it will the acrimony will be bitter afterwards. It'll just be a bitter, ugly breakup.
Man, Tinubu, man, somebody better get that guy's doctor by his side tomorrow or
next
week. Get the defibrillator or something, CPR, everything ready, because that might actually die. It might die in Abuja.
I've had that thought, but I've never been brave enough to mention it. The guy that is not 100%, can he handle the shock of what is coming to him? Is the thing.
Because one man, unlike the other contestants, he is still delusional. Like he still has a chance. That's the problem he has. So he's going to get the shock of his life.
He does have a chance, though. He's not being delusional.
I'm saying that it's like people still kind of have that reservation that they might not get it. Tinubu does think that this is his chance. There's nothing else. This is it for him.
Yeah, so but that's how he plays his politics.
Well, guess what? He's get ready for a rude awakening now.
I doubt he'll be very shocked about any rude awakening.
Well, okay, we shall see. But can I share a story real quick, guys? Go
on. But before you do that, we're about 5 likes now from that 100. So tip us over it in the course of this session as you delight in Babate's story. So Babate, share that story.
So early 90s in Nigeria, I was the assistant head boy in high school, and it was supposed to be they bring the best 2 guys in SS2 before you get in SS3, right? The last term, and we're supposed to have a debate in front of the students to school, right? Then they will vote. Then they will vote for you, right? So I am a day student, and my opponent is a boarding student, right? And the total vote count was about 4,500, but when the vote was counted, we had over 7,000. That was in high school in the early 90s, and the guy from the boarding school won, and it was rigged. That's when I knew Nigeria. That's when I knew Nigeria had a problem. That even in high school, we've been rigging election.
Catch them young, Gabi. Catch them young.
In secondary school. Generation.
that was early 90s, man. That was early 90s. That's what I knew. The guy won because the guy that counted the vote was the agri teacher, and it was also their boarding master, whatever. So they did their own magic. So I knew, okay, so this is. So I had an idea where the country was heading at that time. But overall, I'm praying that PDP and APC kind of fold and they destroy themselves so we can have a restart and have a refresh. I'm hoping for that. That will really serve the country well, to be honest with you guys. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Babate. So thank you, Babate, and thank you, gentlemen. We've exceeded quite by a bit the 2-hour mark that is allocated for this. Sorry, in the evening, you get first dibs when we come back. But that has been the session. We're no longer any clearer than we were when we started who the PDP ticket will go to. But the winner is going to be the dollar, and the winners will be the delegates. So we know the winner of the PDP primaries, and the winners are the delegates. So the winners are the delegates. Go vote for the delegates because they have plenty of dollars. So that has been it. It will never change, of course. We can calibrate and punt. Look, we've been pontificating. A lot of people at this time will be different. Remember all the noises that we were trailing for weeks and weeks to get to this point.
We were
and
hoping.
a lot of us that were more cynical were saying,
one man, we were hoping that the Nigerians, like Nigerians at home, they always tease on like, oh, this is they give you hope, like
this time it will be different.
Like like oh, like no, they give you that NSAS vibe, like that subsidy vibe, like, oh my God, we are here right now, and like and we get excited abroad, like, oh my God, they finally waking up, and what happens? They go back to their old ways again,
You know what convinced me? Not that I needed much convincing that Nigerian politics will never change unless something seismic and forceful changes it. What convinced me was the 2019 election. SOWORE went to 774 local government areas. He took his cameras. We saw him meeting a Fulani headsman in the middle of nowhere, having a conversation with him. We saw him in villages after villages after villages. We saw the youth en masse were just following him around. And when they did the counting, 33,000 votes. So that told me that forget it. That told me why did it not work.
It looked very proper to us in diaspora, how politics would be played in diaspora. But in Nigeria, all that one is just talk. He couldn't speak the language of the layman.
But whatever it did not work, it tells you that nothing, it cannot work for good. If that did not, I certainly was not stupid enough to think SOWORE will win anything, but I was expecting some numbers that would send a signal to the space that the people, are getting fed up with they are getting fed up rather with status quo. But 33,000, we know they wrote results, but those results will permutate somewhat with what he got. Yeah. So that just told us that just forget that for the foreseeable, it's going to be the delegates got 50,000, 100,000. They gave them $2 million each. This is what we'll be talking about in perpetuity.
So basically, it's a hopeless situation because
is it not?
Basically, you're saying that the people in the society, the hope should be the people to effect the change, but the people are even hopeless and helpless. So where do we look to for the change then?
Stockholm syndrome, Babati. Stockholm syndrome.
So we are doomed. We are, and you have the churches reinforcing that thing in their head. Like don't worry, God put him there. It's God's will and all that nonsense. So when would that change? That's well.
All right, that's a debate for the later session. So thank you, gentlemen. So I'll leave it here. Carry conversation on with you in the comment section. And thank you for the 100 thumbs up. So thank you, everybody that clicked on the like button. We are setting that 100 as a minimum bar for every session. So get us quickly, just as a habit, as you're logging in, because sometimes you log in and then you are off doing something else. And when you hear me rather prattling on and whittling on about click on like, you're away from your device. It's not that you don't want to click it, but you're not immediate to your device. So as you are coming in, just click on the like button and then you fulfilled all righteousness. Fulfill all righteousness and come join us again, 9:35 UK time, regular as clockwork, set it as the time. So hopefully by then we know what we're playing with with regards to the PDP, and then we'll discuss how that permutates for the future of you and I. So I'll leave it there. Carry conversation within the comment section, but here I say peace. Thanks, guys.